Hi, my name's Sarah Lorrimer-Riley and I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I don't really like sticking to one medium to express myself. It's much more fun to play around. I'm probably best known for my large abstract paintings and digital collage work. I live in South Oxfordshire, but I was born in London and moved to the mountains of Snowdonia in rural North Wales when I was 11. Reoccurring theme in my work is how our inner landscape's reflected in the world around us. I think this is very much related to moving from the comfort of this sort of urban landscape to this wild, rugged place with these incredibly, these breathtaking landscapes and often quite extreme weather. I think the ever-changing skies and tempestuous wind and sea just seemed to somehow reflect how I was feeling inside, this feeling of wonder and anger and displacement that I felt when we moved, just as I was sort of heading into those tricky adolescent years. Somehow just the world around me, these big landscapes and amazing open skies, stormy often, kind of reflected my inner world. And I see that in my work now. When I've created a piece, I often look at it and I just think, oh, wow, I get that. I have so many influences. Like sometimes I feel like a giant sponge, from Grace and Perry Pott to like classical Ottoman architecture via perhaps, I don't know, my kid's Beano. Love the Beano. There's just so much beauty everywhere and authenticity in the simplest things. Like, I just can't get enough of it. You sort of, I don't know, see some graffiti or... I'm just influenced by everything, I think. It's really hard to say, like, who's your biggest influence? Because, again, I think it's about seeing those things around you and whatever connects to you somehow, you take a little bit of that because it spoke to you, and then that bit inside you is influenced to have a voice somehow, if that makes any sense. I am currently really enjoying clay as a medium. I have been messing around with it lots and lots. There's something really primal about it. Like you're taking this mud, quite literally, and, messing around with it until you create something that wasn't there before. And you're literally taking the mud from the earth and sort of used it to express something that lives inside you. So you're putting your own feelings onto it. And it's sort of, again, it's coming back to that inner landscape being reflected in something. And it's just really, I really enjoy it. I quite like getting messy too. So, that's fun. I think the biggest challenge of being an artist is actually finding the time to make any art. I mean, in reality, I would say probably, at least 70% of my time spent on admin, marketing, social media, emails, spreadsheets, like updating the website, updating Saatchi Arts, making sure my accounts are up to date, I've replied to all the emails, etc., etc., etc. To be honest, I would much rather be painting or messing around with clay or whatever else. But it's a necessary thing. Like, it's a business at the end of the day, and you need to do it, but you need to be everything. So there's a lot that gets in the way of being just connected to whatever it is that, whatever it is inside me that makes art. There's a lot of noise of all the other stuff that gets in the way. So finding that sort of sacred space to create without any interruptions is like the goal. And I would like to do more of that because I spend all my life sorting out all the other stuff often. And the other thing is that it is great, but it can be a bit isolating somehow because you spend so much time on your own. I am quite a social person, So I know sometimes I've got some other artist friends and we go and have studio time together where we're all working on our own work, but just sort of together in a space, which is really joyful. And it sort of stops you going mad and you can talk to people. I really enjoy being creative with other people. That's loads of fun. Advice I would give my younger self, I think the advice I would give is just do it. Like, I spent years of my life, I used to take photographs, that's what I did. And these photos I was taking, I was trying so hard to, get the composition right and so that they would look like a painting, because I didn't think I could paint. But the thing is, I'd never actually tried. I had never tried to paint. I just thought, I can't paint. And then I think it was during COVID, I just suddenly felt this overwhelming need to paint. So I did. And the first large-scale painting I did miraculously ended up in the Royal Academy summer exhibition, which was just mind-blowing to me. So I realised that I could paint, and it makes me think, what else can I do that I don't know? Maybe I'm a really good pilot, or I don't know, long jumper. But my advice would be just go for it. You have nothing to lose, and you never know, you might be able to do all these amazing things that you never knew about. So just go for it. Try it all. Life's short. You never know, you might be the next Olympic swimmer, as well as the Voyager or something. In terms of mediums and techniques, I tend to approach it all with a pretty playful attitude. I use whatever I can see around me often. that will be interesting. I think just playing around, that's what I like to do. You can get some really interesting texture with I got this glue that's it's a furniture glue, and I think it's made with rabbit hide, which isn't great because I'm a vegetarian, but anyway, I found some. And it makes this really interesting texture, on a sort of base layer of a painting, and I heated it up with a hairdryer. It does not, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that because it smells horrific, but gives some really interesting texture, I will say. I always tend to listen to music when I work, often 6 music, or whatever I feel in the mood for. I find that it helps me get into this flow state much easier when you just kind of just painting. It's like the paintings just paint themselves. I almost feel like sometimes it's like I'm not painting it. It's like automatic writing. I'll start painting and then all of a sudden after, hours, weeks, days, months, suddenly this painting is just like, oh, wow, I made that. So that's quite nice. My best reaction to my artwork, I think, is when it starts a conversation. I just love that. It blows my mind that something I created that came entirely from me can make someone else feel something. It's beautiful. That's just such a beautiful thing. It's something I made someone else feel something. That's just incredible to me.